Hey everyone, Cruising with JT here, and today I'm super excited to give you a review of Navigator of the Seas, from the food to the entertainment to the activities on board and things that you should be aware of before you come and cruise on this beautiful amplified Voyager class ship. Once again, a review of Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas. Let's go ahead and get started. This video is sponsored by MEI Travel. Be sure to reach out to them via the contact information in the description below for all your travel booking needs. Thank you so much and have a great day. All right, just a quick review of this 4-night cruise that I took out of San Pedro in Los Angeles on board Navigator of the Seas. The dates were Monday, April 24th, 2023 to Friday, April 28th, 2023. The itinerary was we left Monday, April 24th, then on the 25th we were a day at sea, the 26th we were in Catalina Island, the 27th today we were at Ensenada, Mexico, and right now we're actually headed back home to Los Angeles, San Pedro. So wonderful cruise. We booked an ocean view balcony. I'm here with my wife and daughter. We've had an amazing 4-night cruise, and this is one of those cruises where you feel like, how fast is it going to go? And it's gone extremely fast because we've just had an amazing time on board this ship. For those that don't know, Navigator of the Seas was recently amplified a few years back to really upgrade the overall onboard experience for guests, right? So it underwent a $115 million amplification. It got new water slides installed, new Caribbean pool deck, new venues in the Royal Promenade, and also on the pool deck as well, right? So there's a lot of upgrades and enhancements that were made to the original Navigator of the Seas. Now, for folks who may have cruised on Navigator before and after, I'd love to get your thoughts on what your experience has been before the amplification and also after the amplification, right? What have you enjoyed most about Navigator before and after its upgrades, right? So let's start with the food. Let's start with the free complimentary dining options that you can enjoy on board Navigator of the Seas. The first one, the most notable one, is the main dining room. For a lot of folks that don't know, the main dining room is complimentary for all guests on board Navigator of the Seas. Royal Caribbean recently changed up its menu offerings on board its cruises, right? So now, instead of having a set daily menu where you have like the original classics where you can get that same item every single day, that has been removed, and now they have dedicated theme nights on board the cruises, right? So for example, the first night was the welcome aboard night dinner menu. The second night was the French menu. The third night it was the Caribbean menu, and then tonight was the Bon Voyage menu. Now, all the items are still pretty good, but you will have limited selections as to what you can get for dinner. So just something to keep in mind, that they do have dedicated menus every single night of the cruise, right? So we've enjoyed it. We actually went to the dining room twice for dinner, and we're vegetarian, and we really enjoy the Indian vegetarian options that they have. The bread and the butter is always still delicious. You can always request the bread be warmed up, right? So once you get your bread, if it's not warm, just ask me, could you warm it up please, and they'll do it for you, right? The appetizers have been amazing. The entrees, like I mentioned, the Indian vegetarian has been phenomenal, and the desserts, you can't go wrong, right? So we always leave pretty stuffed after our dinner at the main dining room, but again, that's probably the most popular complimentary place to eat on board the cruise ship of Navigator of the Seas. Now, another complimentary option, which I'm sure you might be familiar with, if not, is called the Windjammer Marketplace. That is the buffet on board. It is located on deck 11 on Navigator of the Seas. It's been open for breakfast from 6:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and then lunch was from 12 to 4:30, and dinner was from 5:30 to 9. So it does have 3 meal settings, so you can come and go. And one thing to keep in mind about the buffet is that it's really, really busy, especially for breakfast, right? For lunch, it's not as busy, but it's the breakfast. It's the craziest I've ever seen. For example, like the buffet. If you can avoid the Windjammer buffet for breakfast, I would highly recommend either get room service, the continental breakfast for room service, go to the Cafe Promenade. If you're a Diamond member, you can come to the Diamond Lounge here as well. You can also go to the main dining room, right? Again, that's also complimentary. It's just not as busy. Like, we were at the buffet for the breakfast today, and oh my gosh, there's people everywhere. It is so packed, and it's hard to get seats. So something to keep in mind. But the Windjammer buffet is an excellent choice for lunch and dinner as well. Dinner is probably the least busy, just because a lot of people are going to the dining room or specialty restaurants, right? So a couple other free options on board Navigator of the Seas, you have El Loco Fresh, which is again recently installed with the amplification. It's a Mexican eatery located on the pool deck, deck 11. Highly recommend it. It's actually my favorite restaurant across any cruise ship. El Loco Fresh. You got your quesadillas, cheese quesadillas, chicken quesadillas, beef burritos, beef tacos, nachos, chicken, Mexican rice, black beans, and all the condiments, all the salsa station items you can want: guacamole, sour cream, pico de gallo, lettuce, onions, salsa, tomatillo sauce, right? Shredded cheese, jalapenos. So El Loco Fresh is definitely an area you want to check out on board Navigator to the Seas. It's actually a great embarkation day lunch. If I can give you one tip, when you board Navigator to the Seas, avoid the Windjammer. Don't go to the buffet because it's a madhouse, just like it is every morning for breakfast. So try to avoid the Windjammer on embarkation day, and also if you can on debarkation day morning, because it's really, really busy. Another restaurant that's located right across El Loco Fresh, it's not complimentary, but it's there on deck 11. It's called Johnny Rockets. It's kind of like a la carte. You can check that one out as well. But let me actually go back to the complimentary ones before I go more into the pay for eating options, right? So on the Royal Promenade, you have Cafe Promenade, which is the only venue on board the ship that is available 24 hours, right? So for example, if you ever are hungry, you can go to the Cafe Promenade and have an amazing snack, whether it be pizza, sandwiches, desserts, all those type of things. Of course, you have water and your lemonade and iced tea that you can get as well of no charge, right? So those are some of the main free to eat dining options on board Navigator the Seas. Now, some of the pay for options, of course, like I mentioned, Johnny Rockets, it's a la carte, burgers, fries, onion rings, things of that nature. You can enjoy it there. Milkshakes, which are absolutely amazing, also cost a little bit of money, but it's not too crazy. Then of course you have Playmakers, which is located on the Royal Promenade. That's also a la carte. They have an amazing menu with burgers, fries, onion rings, nachos. They have an amazing dessert selection as well. So Playmakers Sports Bar and Arcade is also a pay-for venue, but again, I highly recommend it. Then you also have Izumi. Izumi is like a sushi area located on Navigator to the Seas. That also is a specialty restaurant which you want to make reservations for, but again, I think it's a great option that you can check out if you're into sushi. There's Jamie's Italian, which is one of our favorite restaurants. We actually dine there this cruise as well. That's part of the dining package if you get that as well. If not, you pay just one flat fee per person, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind about Jamie's Italian is if you go during lunch, it's about half off, right? So for lunch, it's about, let's say, $24, but for dinner, it's $50, right? So same menu pretty much, right? I definitely recommend going to Jamie's Italian during lunch because you're gonna get the same type of food. You're just gonna save a lot of money in the process. Also, you can go to Chops Grill. That's a steakhouse on board. That is, we're vegetarian, so I don't know too much about Chops Grill, but I know you can get some delicious steakhouse options there. There's also Hooked Seafood that you can go and check out as well. We don't eat seafood as well, but I know that Hooked Seafood is also a specialty restaurant that you can go and pay for as well. So those are some of the pay for options as well. Let me just double check. There's no other items that I'm missing, but if there are any restaurants that I forgot or if I think of during this video, I'll let you guys know. Let's talk a little bit about the entertainment options. Now, there's one show that's on Navigator to the Seas that I highly recommend. It's the Ice Skate Reach for the Stars ice skating show at Studio B. Now, this ice skating show is a show that a show you may have never seen on Royal Caribbean. I was super excited about it because I've heard some amazing things about this experience. The biggest thing that really drew my attention was the fact that they use drones for the first few minutes of the ice skate show. Then they bring on all the dancers, right, and the performers. So yeah, the drone introduction was pretty awesome. I'll be sharing a video on that very soon if I haven't already done so on my YouTube channel. But the drone introduction is super cool. I've never seen that on any ice show. And I've seen a lot of ice shows on Royal Caribbean ships, but this is the first time I've seen anything like this. So Royal Caribbean, kudos to you guys for creating an awesome ice show. Another show that we saw, some of the other shows that we've seen on Navigator the Seas, like some of the headliner shows, the comedians. There was a juggler, I think his name was Jason, I can't remember his last name, but he was like a juggler, really great, great performer. So lots of entertainment there. You have your welcome aboard shows, you have your farewell shows in the Royal Theater. So the entertainment has been top notch. There are a lot of shows that we personally didn't go to just because the scheduling didn't work out. But one thing I always recommend is when you come on Navigator of the Seas, make sure you have the Royal Caribbean app, because the Royal Caribbean app is going to give you a list of all the things that are happening at any given time during any day, right? So you can take a look at the options available to you. And one thing that's nice is Navigator of the Seas, you don't have to make any reservations, right? It's first come, first serve, so you can definitely come and go as you please. I would definitely recommend getting to a venue 20 to 30 minutes prior to the start time if you want prime seats and for viewing the experience, right? So yeah, the shows have been pretty good. Like I said, there's been some comedy shows and some, like I said, juggling shows, and it's been good. The main production show, I would say, for this cruise is only a 4-nighter. It was called Ballroom Fever, right? So there's like a bunch of folks doing like ballroom dancing and just other cool experiences with music. We actually didn't personally see it, but I heard some great things about it, so you can go check that out as well. I think you might like that experience as well. So, but yeah, aside from that, some other entertainment they have on board, of course, you have your classic belly flop competition on the pool deck. You have the World's Sexiest Man contest. There's some other entertainment. Like I said, one thing I always recommend is check out the daily planner on board Navigator of the Seas, right? Make sure you get that app, and then you'll see exactly what there is to do. So we talked about food and dining, we talked about entertainment, and let's talk about the activities and what you can do on Navigator of the Seas. So one of my favorite activities that I like to do on any cruise ship is go down the water slides. Right now, the water slides are free and complimentary and included in your pricing on Navigator of the Seas. There's 2 new water slides that they included as part of the amplification a few years back, right? The first one is called the Blaster, and the second one is called the Riptide. Now the Blaster is the inner tube slide. It could be a 1 or 2 person slide. It's basically, imagine like a roller coaster. This is the longest water slide at sea. Imagine a roller coaster type water slide where you're kind of going through like these loops, but then as you get to the bottom of the valley, it like shoots you up like a roller coaster, which is really cool. So basically you're not getting fully wet, it's just your back is getting wet, but it's really cool. So the Blaster, did that a few times. I highly recommend it. The Riptide slide is a little bit different, right? The Riptide slide is a mat slide head first. You put your elbows together and you hold onto the handles tight, and you get splashed quite a bit. It's really cool, just like the Blaster is, because you see all these cool lights and the different experiences, but you can't see as much because there's constant like mist spraying you. So it's a lot of fun. I'd recommend trying both of them at least once. If I had to go on them again, I would probably go on the Blaster. I went to the Blaster more than once, but I only went on the Riptide once, and I love water slides, right? It's a good slide, but I just preferred the Blaster more. Other cool activities on board that you can do at no charge. You have rock climbing. Again, you can do that. Again, they have an awesome rock climbing wall that you can sign up for. You got to sign a waiver. In addition, you have the Flow Rider, which is a surf simulator. You have to sign a waiver for that as well. But again, no charge, right? That's an amazing experience, which I think Royal Caribbean really coined many years ago, back on the Voyager class ships, right? Or when Freedom of the Seas came, and this new idea of having a surf simulator on board a cruise ship. So they become really popular. You'll find Flow Riders on most ships nowadays as well. So that's an awesome experience as well. Let's see what else. There's mini golf, Navigator Dunes. There's no charge to that. So as you can see, Navigator of the Seas offers a lot of onboard experiences for the whole family, no matter what your age you are, right? There's a teenager club that they have. It's called the Living Room, which is a dedicated space for your teens. You can have your young ones go to the Adventure Ocean and get them signed up for their program, so mom and dad and parents can go be parents while the kids are having fun, making new friends in the Adventure Ocean and having fun with the youth staff on board Royal Caribbean, right? They have some of the best staff members on board. I can't say enough about the service and just the friendliness of everyone that we've met with, especially the dining staff. I have so many good things to say about the dining room staff that we've experienced in the main dining room and across the different venues across the ship. So yeah, Navigator of the Seas, would I go back on this cruise ship again? Yes, I would. There are a couple of things I would change. One thing I know that recently was implemented, from my understanding, is that there is only turn down service, or let's say your room only gets serviced once, right, per day. And I think one issue that we've had this cruise is that our room doesn't really get ready until 4 or 5 p.m. for some reason, right? We requested around anytime between 10 and 1 p.m., which is pretty standard, I think, right, from previous cruises we've been on. So if there's only one negative that I can say for this cruise, is that our room didn't really get made until about 4 or 5 p.m. And tonight, the last night, it wasn't done until 8 p.m., right? Even though we were getting ready for dinner at 5 p.m., I kindly asked our steward to please come at 4 so we can not have conflicting schedules. So yeah, Aside from that, the food's been amazing, the entertainment's been amazing, the customer service has been amazing. I'll definitely give great ratings for this cruise, and I will go back on it. I have friends who are going on the ship in the future as well, so I'll give them some tips and tricks as well. But Navigate the Seas, you've really impressed me. It is my favorite Voyager class ship, and I've been wanting to go on this ship for the longest time. And I think Royal Caribbean's done a phenomenal job, not only with the amplification, but also deciding to bring Navigator over to the West Coast a few years back. Because for folks who don't know, Navigator the Seas, or Royal Caribbean in general, had been absent from Mexico for many, many years, right? So they were gone for like over 10 years because of the high crime rates and everything. But they eventually came back, and they decided to bring Navigator to the Seas. So it's a great ship. I highly recommend it. Whether it's a 3-night itinerary that only includes Ensenada, whether it's a 4-night itinerary which includes Ensenada, Catalina Island. There's some 5-night itineraries as well that include Cabo and some Cabo overnights as well. But again, the most popular itinerary I would say is the 7-night Mexican Riviera cruise, right? Which leaves out of San Pedro, Los Angeles, and then goes to Cabo, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. So that's the most popular cruise, and I'm sure we'll probably do that one day, because I would love to come back on Navigator the Seas. It's only a 2-hour flight from where I live in Seattle, and get to go to some warmer climates as well. But overall, Navigator the Seas, I highly recommend this cruise ship. Certain things that I would change, like I mentioned, the service. I wish they could have like more better times as to when they're making your room. Aside from that, I don't really have any complaints. Like honestly, like it takes a lot for me to not like a cruise, and if there's certain things I don't like, I will remember it. But honestly, like in the 4 days we've been here, it's been a phenomenal cruise. So kudos to you, Royal Caribbean. I'll make sure to fill out great things about the survey. For all the folks who are watching this till the end, let me know if you have any questions about Navigator the Seas and what the ship has to offer. If I missed anything, any other questions about dining, entertainment, and onboard experiences, I would love to help out. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. So be sure to hit that like button and comment below, like I said, if you have any questions or concerns or any comments, right? And also subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I really appreciate your support. And also, if you're interested in booking Navigator the Seas, you can reach out to me at cruisingwithjt@gmail.com. I'm not a travel agent, but I'll talk to you about what you're looking for and when you want to go on Navigator the Seas, or actually any cruise for that matter. And I'll get you connected to my trusted travel advisor at my sponsored agency, MEI Travel. So let me know, guys. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. And again, Navigator the Seas, you get a 2 thumbs up for me. I love this ship. Can't wait to come back. And yeah, until next time, this is Cruising with JT, guys. Thanks again, and take care. Bye. A special shout out to my Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you so much for your additional support. And be sure to hit that subscribe button, everyone. Love to keep growing slowly but surely. Thank you so much for your subscription, and have an awesome day.